Irish Hills of Michigan, where for the 9th consecutive year, a near-record crowd has gathered to watch NASCAR's finest compete for 250 miles on this massive 2-mile oval known as Michigan Speedway. On Friday, Mark Martin's final Busch Series visit to Michigan ended prematurely with this hard crash off of turn 2 during qualifying. Martin's 44 victories makes him the winningest driver in Busch Series history, and he would have been looking for win number 3 at Michigan today. Roush teammate Jeff Burton did qualify and hopes his daughter Paige's magic touch will make him a 2-time Michigan winner. Throughout this year, the Busch Series regulars have been green with envy. Jeff Green, that is, as the Owensboro, Kentucky native has dominated the season, resulting in a mammoth 567-point lead over his nearest rival. Ironically, Green's stiffest challenges have come from 2 series rookies. Hollywood handsome Kevin Harvick won 3 weeks ago at Gateway, while hard-nosed hustler Ron Hornaday hit the jackpot at both Nazareth and Indy. Both of these Busch Series freshmen are fast and focused to win again here today. We welcome you live to the Irish Hills of Michigan for today's NASCAR Busch Series NapaOnline.com 250. With just 10 events remaining, Jeff Green has a huge lead, but just 88 points separate second from 5th. Jason Keller back to rookie Ron Hornaday Jr. Hello, everyone. I'm Jerry Punch, along with Benny Parsons. Glad to have you with us. And, Benny, if you look at the history of this race, guys who have won poles and guys who have won this Busch Series event, names like Jeff Gordon, Dale Jarrett, Mark Martin, and Jeff Burton crop up, indicating this racetrack is
tough. Doggone tough. And it's something that seems like this weekend it's even tougher than usual. As you walk through the garage area and talk to the drivers, mechanics, it seems like only a handful of these guys have any idea what the cars are going to do. So today's race for 250 miles is going to be a work in progress.
Now we get set to go down trackside for the 4 words every fan loves to hear as 43 NASCAR Busch Series drivers are poised and ready.
Thank you. On behalf of 6,000 Napa Auto Parts stores, welcome to the NapaOnline.com 250. Gentlemen, start your engines.
Typical field for a Busch race here at Michigan, even minus Mark Martin. There are 73 Winston Cup wins on the grid. On the pole, Busch Series regular Buckshot Jones, who's having a dismal year. 0 wins, 2 top 5s in 22 races. Next to him, Matt Kenseth, a Winston Cup win at Charlotte, and 2 Busch wins this year. Kevin Harvick is 4th in points. He starts 3rd, and this Busch Series rookie is chasing his 2nd win this season. Ward Burton won the Winston Cup race at Darlington. Today, he starts 4th. Last year in this race, he started and finished 4th. There are 43 drivers, but if you picked a guy named Jeff in the pool, you're in pretty good shape. With that story, here's Ray Dunlap.
Well, Bill, I think you're right because there's 4 Jeffs in the race today. But the odds-on favorite has got to be Jeff Green. I mean, this guy has decimated the points race this year with 17 top 5 finishes. Even though he has 5 victories this year, 4 of those have come on non-Winston Cup weekends. And Green has never finished in the top 10 here at Michigan. But he hopes to draft his way to the front with another Jeff. Gordon, that is. Gordon finished 2nd here a year ago to Dale Earnhardt Jr., and remember, he won in Winston Cup here back in '98. But there's another Jeff a little closer to the front. His name is Purvis. He has 3 ARCA victories here, and he won the '96 edition of this event. He should be good today. But the closest Jeff to the front is the '98 winner of this race. His name is Jeff Burton. Now, the chassis setups have changed dramatically since Burton last won here at Michigan, and this car has been fighting a very bad push all weekend. But, folks, here's the good news. This is the exact same car that Jeff Burton used to go to Victory Lane earlier this year at Vegas and at Charlotte. Jerry?
Well, thank you very much, Ray. And a reminder, his Roush teammate, Mark Martin, will not start what was to be his Busch Series farewell from Michigan due to a qualifying accident on Friday. Well, the command has been given, and 43 of the Busch Series best are poised and ready to wage war for 250 miles here at Michigan Speedway. As ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, presents NASCAR. When we come back, we'll take a look at the Suzuki starting grid and wave the green flag. We'll kick the tires and light the fires in just a moment. Take a look at this track. We're talking about 2 miles, a D-shaped oval, Michigan Speedway, located in the Irish Hills of Michigan. And Benny, you can see right away the front stretch and back straightaway indicate that it is indeed D-shaped.
Yes, 3,600 feet down the front stretch means these cars will be running somewhere around 190 miles per hour as they reach turn 1 here this afternoon.
All right, the field in tow behind the safety car. Let's take a look at our Suzuki starting grid. 43 cars will start, including Buckshot Jones, who collected his 3rd career pole, 13th different driver to sit on the pole this year in Busch competition. And how about leading the Robestas Rookie of the Year points in Winston Cup? Matt Kenseth outside of row 1. Back in row 2, we're talking about impressive rookie Kevin Harvick, already a pole winner this year at Dover, Delaware, looking for win number 2 in the year. And Ward Burton making an infrequent start in the NASCAR Busch Series. There's Jason Keller, 2nd in points, back inside of row 3. And Jeff Burton, who won this race 2 years ago, looking for his 2nd Michigan win. Back in row 4, Bobby Hamilton Jr., impressive young man, still looking for that first Busch Series win. Thinks it could come today. Keep an eye on him. And Jimmy Johnson, a lot of great things in this young man's future, looking toward possibly Winston Cup next year. And Ben, as you take a look at our starting grid, there are some very, very strong cars in the field for Winston Cup drivers in the top 10, including Michael Waltrip.
And good teams, good drivers scattered throughout the field. Chad Little, this is kind of an audition, trying to get a ride for the McDonald's NASCAR Winston Cup in the year 2001. Mike Wallace, trying to get something going next year and use his 77 car as a springboard. Ron Hornaday, 2 victories as a rookie. Todd Bodine, who looked so good in happy hour yesterday afternoon.
Fastest car in happy hour for the Busch Series was Todd Bodine. Jeff Purvis still looking for that first win for Joe Gibbs, coming very, very close. Had a couple of runner-up finishes. Front row, Joe Nemechek will start outside of row 10. And how about Hank Parker Jr. and Rick Rathman's Team Marines Racing Chevy?
Mike Dillon, a teammate to Kevin Harvick, back in the 11th row, alongside Ashton Lewis. There's Jeff Green, who, as you talked about, Jerry, just a huge lead in the Busch Series points. And Jeff Gordon. And Jimmy Spencer, the 12th car, we see him lined up in the 13th row. He had an unapproved engine change. He will go to the rear of the field. Hutch Strickland in the 88. And Blaze Alexander. Kyle Petty, the Sprint Chevrolet.
Jay Sauter, the Quality Farm and Country Chevrolet, had that great run at the beginning of the year at Daytona. There's Casey Atwood, the 19-year-old. Will be moving to Dodges next year for Ray Evernham. David Green, former Busch Series champion back in 1994, on the outside of row 18. Now, the car number 25 will have to go to the back of the field. Andy Santerre was scheduled to drive the car, but we are told in the driver's meeting just a little bit ago that they have made a driver change there, and Ricky Craven will actually start that car from the back of the field. We'll tell you more in a little bit about Ed Renzi's Lance Snacks Chevrolet.
And we see Ted Musgrave, the Channel Lock car, in her 43rd starting spot.
And the cars that did not qualify, there were 7 of those. Morgan Shepherd driving for the Jarrett Favre entry. Michael Rich, P.J. Jones, Rich Pickle, Brett Bodine, Doug Reed, and of course Mark Martin had the accident in qualifying in the Winn-Dixie Ford on Friday afternoon. Our onboard cameras.
We have 7 of them here this afternoon, and to give you some great shots of the action as these NASCAR Busch Series always. Very exciting here at the Michigan International Speedway. And yes, folks, they have changed the name back to Michigan International Speedway.
And remember, they have added 50 miles to this event. It has been run here 8 previous times, dating back to 1992. It was always a 200-mile event, 100 laps, and today it is 250 miles, 125 laps, which will make the fuel strategy even more critical. Great crowd on hand. Glad to have you with us. I'm Jerry Punch, along with Benny Parsons, Bill Weber, and Ray Dunlap. As exciting NASCAR Busch Series cars head to the green flag at Michigan International Speedway. Challenge down the back straightaway for the lead, and Matt Kenseth will take the lead by a car length entering turn 3.
And here's Harvick up on the outside, and look at that 2-car just drive by Buckshot.
is exactly what you see at Michigan Speedway. Exciting racing, very wide racetrack. And our points leader, Jeff Green, right in the middle of that 4-wide group. And now a challenge for the lead, Benny.
Harvick on the inside. But we've seen something this weekend that's unusual at the Michigan Speedway. The top groove, the Highliner on this racetrack seems to be the better way around. As Harvick passed the last time, this time he's in the middle of the racetrack. Meanwhile, Kenseth still running the traditional line on the bottom of the speedway. There's Jeff Burton has moved up to the 4th spot.
For position. There goes the 92 of Jimmy Johnson by Buckshot Jones. That is for the 5th position. Wow, on the very first lap at Michigan, they're 4 wide before they got to the start-finish line to complete a lap. Side by side again back in the pack. That is Mike McLaughlin on the inside of Bobby Hamilton Jr. Now running side by side with Michael Waltrip. All right, a pair of brothers Burton. Jeff Burton on the inside, Ward on the outside. Five years separate them in age, 5 feet separates them on the racetrack. And now Ward Burton will have the advantage, and right behind him, here comes Jimmy Johnson, 24 years of age from El Cajon, California, right on board the yellow freight roof cam.
Todd Bodine trying to work his way through the field. As Ron Hornaday trying to figure out as he is on the inside of McLaughlin. That's a battle back for about the 14th, 13th position.
And as Benny mentioned, Todd Bodine was the fastest car during Busch Series happy hour on Friday afternoon.
But once again, we see that bottom groove. These cars, they need to run high and just keep the momentum in these cars. Seems like if they lose momentum, it's a struggle to get it back as Jeff Green tries to get on the inside. Take a start away. Even for Jeff Green, it's a struggle down there.
Jeff Green started back in 24th position, is now being shown in 20th spot, having passed 4 cars in the first 5 laps. Now Elton Sawyer will look to the inside. The 98 car is Sawyer. His car trying to hug the bottom of the racetrack.
Oh, Buckshot! What a big-time wiggle that was. That was a hospital wiggle there now.
Now all the way on the flat part of the racetrack, Elton Sawyer goes all the way down to the grass to go around Buckshot Jones.
And you can see the Buckshot is struggling to get the cheesy car around the racetrack and talking to the team. That's one of the teams that said was really elusive, trying to find that setup for the car.
And a tough break for the Hot Tamale Chevrolet, the Andy Peepier Racing entry for Derek Gilchrist. He is slowing on the racetrack and will head for pit road. Side-by-side action down the backstretch, now making 3 wide. Here comes Jay Sauter on the inside.
It's back about the 30th position, so now we see Jimmy Johnson trying to get by Jeff Burton. Can he make that pass? He's got to pull off a slide jump if he does. Can't quite make it. Burton on that high side, and you're back for the lead.
Back up front, Visine Chevrolet on the inside, and the AC Delco Chevrolet on the outside. Kenseth and Harvick. Harvick is the rookie driver. Kenseth leads the rookie points in NASCAR's Winston Cup Series. And here comes Ward Burton pedaling for all he's worth in a Pontiac as he now inhales that front row. There's a half a car length back. Now you can really see the draft begin to work as Ward Burton got up behind Harvick and actually pushed him by Kenseth.
Pushed him by. Exactly right, Jerry. And we still see those guys trying to run on the bottom of the racetrack.
Let's show you what happened just a moment ago to the 00 car. An anxious moment for Buckshot Jones.
Comes off the corner and the car just gets extremely loose. And Buckshot does a great job to save it. Bill, what are they saying in the pit area?
Well, just heard Buckshot a moment ago call in just before he did that wiggle that the car is very tight, slipping back through the field in a hurry, but the car just will not handle early. He's being called by his spotter. His line and his car look better as they go deeper into the race, so hopefully the handle will come to them.
Well, Bill, he's about to lose 14th position. That's the 24 car, the Pepsi Chevrolet of Jeff Gordon. making his way to the front. Sorry, Benny.
And Ward Burton trying to look on the outside of Kevin Harvick.
Wow, we're not even 10 laps into this one, and I can hardly sit still. Harvick holding on, but Burton, Kenseth, Jimmy Johnson, and Jeff Burton in the top 5 are on their way to get him. Michigan Speedway in Brooklyn, Michigan. They continue to battle all over the racetrack as Kevin Harvick hangs on. Kenseth in second spot. Here's a challenge for third position between Burton and Jimmy Johnson as they go by Johnson. The brothers Burton do. And look at Todd Bodine. We told you that he was going to come with the front in a hurry, and indeed, he is already there.
Started in 16th position. He just now moves into the 5th spot. Well, he's trying to move into the 5th spot. He does get by Michael Waltrip. And Mike McLaughlin goes by the 92 car.
And one driver who has just put on a clinic on how to pass on a super speedway is this car number 12 on the left side of your screen, Jimmy Spencer in the Zippo Chevrolet. And right behind him is our points leader, Jeff Green, but Benny Spencer started the back of the pack and is just passing them left and right.
And has worked his way up to the 21st position already. Ray Dunlap has more on Spencer.
Well, Benny, you mentioned at the top of the show it was an unapproved engine change. The crew found some water in the oil pan early on here this morning. They said, we can't take a chance. We got to put a different engine in there. So Spencer started 43rd. But boy, is he flying here today. In his 160 start, Jimmy Spencer says this car is the best that he's had at Michigan, and that's pretty obvious as many positions as he's gained already today.
Oh, indeed, Ray. He said a mouthful there. He is coming toward the front. Take a look at the front. It's already crowded up here. Todd Bodine right on the inside of Jeff Burton. Here goes Ward Burton down to make it 3 wide, and he will slide by both his brother and Todd Bodine for third position.
And you see that Matt Kenseth, the 17 Visine car, has taken the lead. As now Todd Bodine comes off 3 wide on the inside.
Here comes Michael Waltrip. You can put a blanket over 4 cars.
Ward says, let me out of here.
But now, wait a minute, guys. They got 110 laps to go. Great views from high above Michigan Speedway. This action as they tighten up. Now single file, courtesy of the fine folks at Pennzoil and our Pennzoil Copter Cam.
I talked about momentum just a moment ago, and that's what I was talking about. You saw Ward Burton going 3, have to back off the accelerator just a little bit, and you see he lost that momentum and lost 2 or 3 spots. As now Kenseth trying to check out from the rest of these guys. But Todd Bodine, that red one, that Spilt 66 Drop Arctic car, if he can get in second spot, he will not let that happen.
All right, Ron Hornaday being passed by Jeff Gordon, the 3-time Winston Cup champion, making it an infrequent Busch Series restart, only his 4th start of the year. And now Gordon is making his way toward the front. He started back in the pack.
Here comes 66, the battle for the second position. Gets a terrific, and look at Michael Waltrip go up on the outside of Jeff Burton. I don't think Jeff expected that as Michael takes over that 3rd spot.
Michael Waltrip showing a lot of muscle. That Dennis Fisher engine has brought the Band-Aid Chevy toward the front. So he takes the 3rd spot away. Wow, Kenseth the leader. Todd Bodine in 2nd spot. Michael Waltrip is 3rd. Jeff Burton 4th.
Ever see Buckshot Jones, a 00, our pole sitter, and followed by Dick Trickle in the Schneider National onboard camera. We can see if Buckshot's car's any better. The car was extremely loose. We saw him almost spin a few laps go off turn 4, but he's complaining to the crew that it's pushing. And what that means is that he turns the wheel to the left, and it just will not turn. Watch as he goes down in the corner at 180, 190 miles per hour. Before he backs off, touches the brake just a little bit.
Well, if he's running 190s, you look at our Circuit City onboard telemetry, then the guys that are running 4 wide up front are running 195 at 4 abreast. That's pretty impressive.
It is awfully impressive. And here we go. There's Randy LeJoint, Phil Parsons, and Joe Nemechek down in the corner. And we see the 21 car of Mike Dillon back behind his cars. Folks, you know, you're lucky you're watching this on television because we can only give you one view so you can see exactly how exciting it is. Imagine being in the seat here. You would have no idea where to look.
Yeah, I don't look out the window. There's battles like this all over the racetrack. And We're trying to show you as many as we can as Jeff Green, our current points leader, is trying to get to the front. Let's check in his pit with Bill Everett.
And not a very successful run so far for Jeff Green.
Joe with you.
Very frustrated. Says he doesn't feel like the car is actually the same car they had in happy hour, like the front tires keep floating along the track instead of turning. Basically has made no movement in this race so far. Very surprising after the strong season he's had to this point.
We mentioned 6 poles and 5 wins for the Nesquik Chevrolet team, but this is a brand new race car. They did come here and test, but you never know what's going to happen until they drop that green flag, Benny. Sometimes these cars can change pretty quickly with the weather.
They sure can. Talking to Harold Holler this morning, the crew chief on that Nesquik Chevrolet, Harold seemed to be very impressed with the car and thought they would have a good day. But as Bill Weber talked about, so far it has been a struggle. On board with Joe Nemechek, the Cellular One onboard camera. Let's go back to another battle. Dick Trickle, Kyle Petty side by side.
That is 18th and 19th position. Kyle in the Sprint Chevrolet. He's had some pretty good runs in that great run up at Nazareth a few weeks ago. He will be in this car for the remainder of the year full time on the Busch Series, starting with Darlington in 2 weeks. And of course, he'll take this car number 45 with the Sprint colors to Winston Cup in the year 2001.
But that bow tie on the rear bumper on the 45 car will be exchanged for a ram head, the Dodge, in 2001.
Dodge Intrepid RT, part of that team, that's formidable Dodge team that gets better and better and more impressive every day. Well, the things are quieted down just a little bit up front, so we can take a deep breath, and maybe we'll take a quick break and hopefully come back and show you some more 3- and 4-wide racing at Michigan Speedway. 21 of 125 laps are complete, and they are excited watching in the pits as we are here. Kenseth, our leader.
Battle going on for the second position as Michael Waltrip, the Band-Aid, number 7, takes it away from Todd Bodine. And Michael Waltrip loves the high line at most racetracks. He gets a chance to run that line here today. And they're already putting some lap on some cars, some 4 cars. Ever see Tom Hubert, the 20 car.
Driving for Bill Davis, the AT&T Pontiac. They go by him. Now side by side again as Michael Waltrip goes way up high across the racetrack, and Todd Bodine hugs the bottom side.
And Todd Bodine is gaining on Matt Kenseth. As a matter of fact, I wondered if he might pass him in that corner. Michael Waltrip almost pushing Todd Bodine down the backstretch.
Buckshot Jones, our pole sitter, brings the Cheez-It Chevrolet down pit road. The 00 headed down to Gary Cogswell and company. As you go back up front and watch the battle, Todd Bodine fakes the inside. Now Michael Waltrip will make a move to the outside.
I think that Michael kind of foxed Todd Bodine. He made a move to the inside, and when the 66 moved down the blockhead, he goes to the outside. Bill Weber, what's going on with Buckshot?
Benny, he called it on the radio saying it's got to be the carburetor. I believe it's the carburetor. So they've got a power problem. The pole sitter on pit road early with the hood up. Obviously a terrible indication for Buckshot Jones. Dismal season continues, just 2 top 10 finishes in the first 22 races.
That is a tough break for Buckshot for that great pole run. Action here, the car number 2 of Kevin Harvick, the early leader. Here comes Jeff Burton in the Pepsi Chevrolet. And on the inside of Burton, or Jeff Gordon in the Pepsi Chevrolet, pardon me, that is Jeff Gordon. And beside him is Elton Sawyer in the Lysol Ford.
So I saw Jeff motioning. I thought he was motioning out his window. I guess at Elton Sawyer to, like, don't run side by side when they get in line. But Elton Sawyer said, look, I got a chance to pass the great Jeff Gordon. I might as well take advantage of it.
They go by Lyndon Amix. Hourtail Chevrolet, car number 35. Back up front, here goes Michael Waltrip all the way down to the white line. It looks like he will have led that lap as they come by. And he will take the lead.
He's going to take the lead. He's going in the break in the corner extremely high as he's been going in all day long. And keeps that momentum going. And here comes the 9 car, that dark blue car behind these guys in 4th spot, Jeff Burton.
Michael Waltrip had not led a lap in Busch Series competition at Michigan in 5 previous starts until just a moment ago. So Michael Waltrip is the leader. Matt Kenseth in second spot. Todd Bodine in third. That car coming into your screen there, the 4th place car, that is Jeff Burton, climbing back toward the top 3. One car slowing down is the car number 81 of Blaze Alexander, the Montoursville, Pennsylvania car, the TrackPhone Chevrolet for Felix Sabates.
And 66, Todd Bodine gets outside position on Matt Kenseth, takes that spot away. And Kevin Harvick's about to lose another spot to Jeff Gordon. As Gordon is trying to move into that 10th spot, he wisely backs off, lets Jeff Gordon go. Now they'll try to hook up and draft down around the racetrack and make these cars go faster. 2 cars running in line run a little bit faster than cars running side by side, much faster than cars running side by side, and a little bit faster than cars running individually around the track.
And Benny, Jeff Gordon started back in 25th position, is now being shown in 10th spot after 31 laps. Back up front, Michael Waltrip in the Band-Aid Chevrolet, car number 7 is our leader. Todd Bodine currently 3rd in the point standings, in 2nd spot. It's a pretty good battle with our points leader.
10 car of Jeff Green back in 24th. That's Chad Little in the McDonald's car, 25th, and Mike Dillon behind these guys in 26th.
And in case you just joined us, Bill Weber reported a little bit ago from the pits that Jeff Green not real happy with this car he has here. The car just not gripping the racetrack.
It's sliding across the racetrack. The tires does not seem to be, as Bill said, gripping. It's just sliding across the track. The worst thing that can happen, because it's very difficult to try to figure out what to do to change the car and to help the car. You see, that battle continues for 2nd spot. Kenseth just slides up the racetrack in front of Burton, but Burton has that run off the corner, has that momentum going for him, trying to take over that 3rd spot, and will.
Well, Burton and Kenseth are a couple of Roush teammates in Winston Cup competition. Of course, Matt Kenseth's car is owned by Robbie Reiser in the Busch Series, as Buffy Waltrip watches her husband Michael lead it after 33 of 125 laps at Michigan. Speedway here in Brooklyn, Michigan, with the NapaOnline.com 250. I'm Jerry Punch along with Benny Parsons, Bill Weber, and Ray Dunlap, bringing you live NASCAR Busch Series action. And these 2 guys here, Benny, talking about Jeff Gordon, the car number 24, and Elton Sawyer, the 98, are beginning to move in on the top 10.
Well, Jeff Gordon just passed Elton Sawyer the last lap or so, and he's now up to the 9th position, and you see Jason Leffler in the pits. Let's go down to Bill.
That's right, Benny, but I'll tell you this, some major chassis changes for Leffler. 4 rounds down on the track bar, pulled a rubber out of the right rear, and they made a wedge adjustment on the left side, so this car not handling good at all.
So no option for Jason Leffler. They had to come in and make a change, and as you heard Ray say, they made some significant chassis adjustments there. Back to this battle here a moment ago, we were talking about the 26 car is Bobby Hamilton Jr. He's in 8th position. Jeff Gordon at 24, the Pepsi Chevrolet, is 9th, and then comes Sawyer in the 98 car, the Lysol machine, in 10th. 8th, 9th, and 10th, as they are battling to catch the move in now on the car number 92. They're hoping to be able to move in on the car number 92 in 7th spot. That is Jimmy Johnson.
Right now they've got Tommy Heward in the 20 car, the AT&T car. Put him a lap down. Hamilton Jr. goes down. Tries to get some draft off the 20 car. Meanwhile, back to the front. Michael Waltrip, the Band-Aid, number 7, still continues to lead. Todd Bodine. Jeff Burton is now in 3rd spot. Matt Kenseth still in 4th.
Michael Waltrip, 5 starts this year in NASCAR Busch Series action, at a 4th at California and a 7th at Dover. I'm told he'll won a total of 7 events with the Band-Aid sponsorship, and there are rumblings as you watch the battle side by side for 2nd position. Rumblings about Michael having a car number 99 next week at Bristol, Tennessee, with Aaron Rentz on the side in Busch competition.
There you see the top 4. The car that has moved into the 5th position now is the 48, the Gould Pumps Chevrolet of Mike McLaughlin. And Mike is racing today for himself, also his father, who is very ill up in New York.
Todd Bodine running in second spot. He won the inaugural Busch Series event here at Michigan Speedway back in 1992. Has 10 career wins and now trying to get the lead as he goes on the bottom of the racetrack.
And Michael Waltrip, if this race is 400, 500 miles, there will not be enough racetrack as he keeps going up higher and higher and higher in the corner. But pretty soon he can't go any higher because there's going to be a wall there. As Hermie Sadler with a little clean car, the white car on the bottom, going a lap down. Hermie's in the 37th position.
Now we'll watch and see if Todd Bodine once again goes to the bottom of the racetrack. Now he's got Jeff Burton right on his backside. Michael Waltrip stays high. Bodine gets to the middle of the racetrack. Doesn't go all the way down. Probably wouldn't want to go because he loses a spot to Burton.
But he gets a good run off the middle of the racetrack and tries to take the lead. He's alongside, and Jeff Burton about half throttle. He's just pedaling along, trying to figure out where he needs to go. Todd Bodine now has no choice but to go on the bottom of the racetrack.
Out of turn 4. Looking from above in our Pennzoil copter cam, giving you a great shot as you watch Jeff Burton now move to the inside and try to go by Todd Bodine. They nearly touch at 190 miles an hour on the front straightaway. And now Bodine will move back in as Burton falls single file. Now, a moment ago, Chad Little in and out of pit road in the drive-through McDonald's drive-through Ford, driving for Cal Wells.
And during his drive-through, he got a Big Mac and 2 right side tires.
Not a bad pit stop.
Yes.
Now Kenseth trying to battle for third position. That's Matt Kenseth, the Visine Chevy, the Bobby Reiser owned machine. Well, laps are clicking away, so we should be getting a little bit closer to the leaders' pit stops. We'll cover pit stops live when we come back to Michigan International Speedway in a moment. Michigan Speedway in Brooklyn, Michigan. We have a change for the lead just moments ago. Todd Bodine made his move.
Yes, he did, up in 3 and 4. And did a slide job off Michael Waltrip as he came off the 4th corner. I thought Michael was going to turn back on the inside. Did not do it. As we see Casey Atwood. You ever see the cars going in turn 3? That's Todd on the inside. Gets a good run, but can't pull up in front of Michael as they enter the corner. Now you think that Michael has the run because he's on the outside. And you see him trying to lap Ted Musgrave. This is back live action as our leader, Todd Bodine, is pushing, and here comes Jeff Burton on the inside for the lead.
They try to go beneath Musgrave's lap car, and Burton will use Musgrave as a pick and take the lead. Now the NorthernLight.com. Ford Taurus of Burton is going in front.
And meanwhile, we see Kenseth back on the inside, trying to take over that 3rd spot.
We're on a record pace. Race record 169.5. The average day over 173 miles per hour. We showed you a moment ago in our Circuit City telemetry they were over 191 miles an hour at the end of the straightaway. And now here's Todd Bodine right on the inside of Jeff Burton. Once again, a door-to-door, and Bodine will take the lead spot back.
Well, not so fast, Jerry. Yeah, I guess he will. Because right in the middle of 3 and 4 is where Todd Bodine really seems to have a good run in that 356 car.
Well, I guess they're going to make pit stops in a few laps anyway, so they might as well use these tires up and burn the gas out.
Well, exactly. Jeff Green, meanwhile, comes down pit road. Bill Weber.
And Jeff Green slowly down pit road with an ill-handling race car. He has been unable to take through the field, so he'll be the first of the big names on pit road. They will make a track bar adjustment, give him 4 tires, and send him back out. Now remember, he has a huge lead in the points, but they do not want to be embarrassed at a track like this. They have a little trouble getting the hose around the rear of the car. Almost got caught up in one of the tire carriers to put on the left side tires. Fuel is full, waiting to get it all in. They should be able to make it on one more stop if the race stays green. He's away. Here's Greg.
Jeff Gordon is in. It's a 4-tire change. His car gets real tight when he gets up on the back bumper of another car. Made a slight slight track bar adjustment, and he is down and away.
All right, Jeff Gordon getting in the pits. Here's Musgrave. Had trouble getting down. There is Ted Musgrave in the Channel Lock Chevrolet. He had trouble just a moment ago in the pit.
Yeah, he came down pit road, could not find his pits, and that sometimes is difficult. Right side tire change is complete on Jeff Green's car a moment ago. Oh, and the jack goes down. He gets it back up. They swing off the left side. This is going to be an extremely long stop as they wipe debris off the front of the car. Jack is down, and Musgrave back into the action.
Well, we are showing now 50 laps in the books, so 125. And there are the leaders up front. Lap traffic, that's Hutch Strickland in the car number 88, right in front of Todd Bodine, the 66 car. Jeff Burton, the 9, and the 17 of Kenseth.
And then here comes our fourth place car who led for so long, Michael Waltrip, as he goes by Hutch Strickland. Randy LaJoie in that one car on the bottom of the racetrack as he tries to go by Hornaday. Battle for the 17th position.
LaJoie starting back in 37th in the Bob Evans Restaurant Chevrolet, the two-time Busch Series champion. There, a look from Hornaday's roof camera.
See the 36 of Tim Fiedler on the inside of Mike Wallace. That's Wallace in the Lear, number 77, the red car on the outside.
Waiting for the leaders to pit. The car 26, Bobby Hamilton Jr. has just missed his pit on pit road. Could be costly for the young man. He heads back out. The Dave Carroll Motorsports machine. Let's go down to Bill Weber in the Kevin Harvick pit.
And Kevin Harvick had a great run at the beginning of this race, started to slide back through the field. Basically said the car was just too tight. They make a track bar adjustment. He'll get 4 tires and fuel. He's also gotten some assistance from his spotter, telling Kevin what line the leaders are using here on the racetrack. Purvis goes around them, and now Harvick takes off.
And that spotter would be Pat Boy. Let's go to Dunlap.
Jimmy Johnson is in, Benny, and we can see they're going to make a track bar adjustment. They go to the right side right here. We expect Jimmy Spencer to come in. This will be a 4-tire change for Jimmy Johnson this time. His car was a little bit tight. Jimmy Spencer expected in shortly as long. Also, Michael Waltrip and Jeff Burton should be coming down pit road next time by. Bill Weber.
Wedge adjustment, 4 tires and fuel as Ward Burton makes his stop and heads back out, followed by the 92.
Boy, Benny, back down 55 miles an hour. Costly problem there for Bobby Hamilton Jr. after having a great qualifying run and starting up in the top 10. Todd Losey and the crew now go to work to change right side tires.
Watch as he comes down the pit road before. He's coming down at 55 miles per hour. Now, where's my pit road? Where's my pit? He finds it, but he can't stop. And he just has to slide on through the pit area. And he's still there. And they're still working on the left side. Now the jack handle. There's no jack handle. Now they're trying to drive off the jack. And finally, he gets away, and the handle had come out of the jack.
And Jeff Burton now is on pit road in the car number 9. Tommy Morgan in the country. The NorthernLight.com. Let's go down the race.
Well, Jerry, Jeff Burton saying the car just a little bit tight, so they're going with 4 tires here in gas. No chassis adjustment. They will change air pressure just a little bit on the right front. Michael Waltrip is down and away with a 2-tire change, and Matt Kenseth comes down pit road right now to Bill Weber.
It's 4 tires and fuel for Kenseth. Didn't see a chassis adjustment. Good stop for him. Mike McLaughlin also with a good stop. Follows him off the pit road in a lot of traffic. Still waiting on Todd Bodine. Expected this time.
Hey, Bill, that was a great pit stop for the 44 crew of McLaughlin. He was back a couple of seconds behind, and he's up there with the leaders now.
Great pit stop by the George Devidar crew for Mike McLaughlin, the Gould Pump Chevrolet.
I mean, the 48 car, I think I said 44 incorrectly. McLaughlin, the 48 car.
Now our leader will peel off and head down pit road. Todd Bodine, who won it here back in 1992, has gone 3 years without winning a Busch Series race. As good as he has been, and this team has been remarkable, he has not won. He comes down here on lap number 56 to make his first pit stop of the day. Let's go down to Ray Dunlap.
But Jerry, first ever Busch Series start for Kyle Petty. He started 30th today, has worked his way up to 12th, and they're going with a 4-tire change on the Sprint Chevy. Kyle very happy with the car that cleaned the windshield. Now to Bill Weber.
Well, it has been a flawless race for Todd Bodine, whose last win came on the sister track in Michigan to California. Just a tick tight off the turn. They're trying to make an air pressure adjustment, hoping it will correct that. Now they're getting 4 tires, plenty of fuel, waiting for the lunch. They clean the grill. Todd Bodine is away. We'll see what happens from here.
Great pit work down there in the car they call Willard. They've nicknamed this Phillips 66 car Willard as Donnie Richardson and crew get Todd Bodine out. A little under 18.5 seconds.
All right, now then, the other leaders he was racing with so hard have just gone into turn 1. Who will win this battle off pit road? And there comes Jeff Burton. It looks like Burton is going to go by. Is he by Todd Bodine? Burton's crew will win this race, this pit crew race.
Now our leader on the racetrack is Ron Hornaday Jr. there in the Napa Chevrolet. A 2-time winner as a rookie driver. Currently, as you saw, 5th in points at the top of our show. He started back in 14th position, now being shown as the leader, and we'll wait for Jerry Kennan, the crew chief, Steve Meal and company, maybe to call him in. Of course, he drives for Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. Got his first win at Nazareth, and also followed it up with our most recent event. He's waving to the traffic behind him, Benny, indicating he is going to make a pit stop.
He's going to make a pit stop. So, I don't think anyone's going to be able to make this race on one stop.
For Hornaday comes down pit road. He can only make it to about 115. We got to go 125 to get to the checkered flag as he heads to you, Bill Weber.
And crew chief Jerry Kennan gives him a verbal escort down pit road. He's got the whole place to himself. They even changed the signboard here because Hornaday said he's been having problems finding his pit on pit road. So he came out with the idea of putting a big cap higher along pit road so he could see it. Right side tires, wedge adjustment on the right side, around to the left, tire carriers are there. Hornaday revs the engine. Waiting on the left rear, Hornaday guns it over, installs it, then continues.
And the 2-time NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series champion with 25 career wins and rookie candidate in Busch Series action gets his service and heads back off of pit road. There's the cap that we're talking about, but you can pretty well see that.
Well, those things just get lost down pit road. There's so many colors, so many people. It is difficult, but maybe Hornaday can find something as unique as that Napa cap.
All right, we're pushing lap number 60 of 125, which make up this one, 250 miles of action from Michigan Speedway. Back in a moment. Welcome you back to Michigan Speedway here in Brooklyn, Michigan. I'm Jerry Punch along with Benny Parsons, Bill Weber, and Ray Dunlap. An interesting story here, Benny.
Tony Raines, the Aleve Chevrolet, comes in the pits. This is his first pit stop. Changed 4 tires, and he has completed 62 laps. Ray, can he make it the rest of the way?
Well, Benny, they very well may gamble on this because being halfway now on the gasoline, they can stay out there where everyone else needs to stop. They did not make any wedge adjustment on this car. They changed 4 tires on it, put gas in. If they got enough gas in there, Tony may be trying to make it all the way to the finish. Bill Weber.
Well, Ron Hornaday's been on and off of pit road, and they had a decent stop. But as Ron Hornaday comes down pit road, he sticks his hand out the window and makes a waving gesture. And what he wanted the crew to do was to wave the signboard up and down to help him find pit road. Now, as we talked about during his pit stop, Ron has had some trouble, he says, seeing the pit board and finding his pit stall, especially in high traffic areas. This time when he came down, he was the only car on pit road. But pitting in this series, much more difficult at times than it is in the truck series. And remember, Hornaday is still just a rookie. That's why he came up with the idea of that hat high above pit road. It's something different than everybody else has, helping him find his pit stall. You cannot afford to lose time in the pits, not only when you're stopped, but when you're moving as well. And that's what Hornaday's trying to help his team.
And Todd Bodine is just going through the field. He puts Hornaday, he puts Jeff Green, the points leader, who has dominated the season for the last 2 or 3 months, a lap down. He's up there trying to put David Green a lap down.
Riding along with Dick Trickle in the Schneider Trucking Chevrolet. Dick being shown back in 25th position, a lap down. And as you said, Benny, Todd Bodine just motoring right through the field as we have just 20 cars now on the lead lap. And 20th spot is the car number 57. That is Jason Keller. As you watch Trickle now running in behind that points leader.
They're about 4 abreast off turn 4 as we see the 48 on the outside up next to the wall, but Kenseth, the 17 car on the inside. That's a battle for the 3rd spot.
Still on a record pace here at Michigan International Speedway. No, we didn't call the name the wrong race. In fact, they put the I back in Michigan Speedway. It's now Michigan International Speedway. And this look from high above, courtesy of the fine folks at Pennzoil, our Pennzoil Copter Cam. We are in the Irish Hills of Michigan. And an hour and a half from the Motor City of Detroit. Exciting NASCAR Busch Series action. Our leader is the car number 66, Todd Bodine. And Benny, he hasn't won since October of 1997 at California Speedway, this track's sister track. And he's making up for lost time right now as Todd Bodine, 3rd in points, but number 1 right now on the leaderboard with 67 laps complete of 125. Bodine, Burton, Kenseth, McLaughlin, and Waltrip are the top 5.
The caution flag is finally waving here at the Michigan Speedway. And it comes at a good time because these cars can come in, make their pit stop, and can run the rest of the way. So fuel mileage will not be a factor, as sometimes they are here at Michigan Speedway in California.
Which is not what Tony Raines wanted to see at all, because he's the only guy that probably could have made it.
Well, he could have made it all the way. That's correct.
Well, a couple of cars who are about to go a lap down, the 97 of Chad Little and the 43 of Jay Sauter get a break. And the 18 car of Jason Leffler, the Joe Gibbs-owned MB&A Pontiac, has gone behind the wall. They've had a couple of unscheduled pit stops, and they have now taken it back to the Busch Series garage area. As Benny just said, first caution flag of the day. We were on a record pace here, averaging over 170 miles an hour.
And we see the pace car. The field has slowed down. The pace car able to come up, get in front of the field, so that means that he will probably open pit road the next time by. And right now, 16 cars on the lead lap, so the first time by, only 16 cars will be able to pit.
Well, Benny, most of these guys went about 53 to 54 laps before they made their scheduled stop. If they pit this time, they'll have to go 53 laps to the checkered flag. So it'll make it very interesting.
Should be, but it shouldn't be any problem for most of these cars, unless they have some type of problem. That should not be a problem.
Todd Bodine, if you just joined us, Todd Bodine is the leader. Starting his car number 66 back in the pack in 16th position. The 1992 Michigan winner who won that first Busch Series event from 12th starting position. Now the Pontiac Grand Prix safety car will come by an open pit road, and here they come at 55 miles an hour. They're headed to you, Ray Dunlap.
Well, Benny, we're expecting a little bit of a chassis change here on the 9 car. They've had about 1.5 pounds of air buildup on the right front, so they will make an air pressure change again, and possibly a track bar change for the 9 car, Jeff Burton. And he's in here. This will be a 4-tire change. They've got the wet treads in there to make the track bar change down about a round. Now to Bill Weber.
The best car on the racetrack. He's just going to take 2 right side tires. It'll be a quick stop. They've already got enough fuel in. The right sides are on. Todd Bodine is away. They're making a chassis adjustment on the 48. He's going to get 4 tires and fuel. Harvick will slide in front of him as Michael Waltrip takes off pit road. Now the parade begins. Burton and Jimmy Johnson still working on the 48. He finally gets away, has to go around a tire carrier, and Gordon is followed by Ward Burton off pit road.
Wow. Wow.
2 tires on Bodine.
Jerry, why would he do that? Why would a car so dominant as the 66 car take a chance on changing 2 tires?
Under the caution flag.
Under the caution flag. Why, oh why?
Well, I got to believe we're going to have to ask Donnie Richardson that question in just a moment as to why they would come in and only change 2 right side tires.
Well, Jerry, they talked about it on the radio under caution, and basically they felt it was something they needed to do. They felt that a lot of teams would take 2 tires. They would lose a lot of track position. They wanted to protect their track position. They took 2 tires, and now we'll see what happens.
Wow.
Well, we'll see if it pays off for them. They've obviously made a bit of a gamble. They have the best race car, or have had the best race car for the first 73 laps here at Michigan International Speedway. Back in just a moment.
Traded with this unorganized mess? Well, attention, angler.
Big timing. Welcome back to Michigan Speedway as we are set for the restart here on lap number 77. The first and only caution flag out for 4 laps.
Green.
I was about to say the green flag is out and Todd Bodine will lead them down.
White car is Todd Bodine. He's the 4th car in line. These other cars trying their best to get a lap back. Tony Raines, the 33 car, was on the tail end of the lead lap. Right now, he in the 57. Jason Keller and Randy LaJoy all battling for position. And meanwhile, there's Matt Kenseth. He's the 17th car in second position.
And how about Jeff Gordon up to 7th position from back in the pack in 25th starting spot.
And Jeff Burton on the outside of Kenseth. He takes over that 2nd spot.
Exactly like we started today here on lap number 1. 3 wide, even 4 wide at certain spots around this racetrack. Now Jeff Burton goes on the bottom of the racetrack.
Michael Waltrip right in the middle of the racetrack trying to work his way back to the front. He goes between cars. And there's Ward Burton, the blue car, 22. Ward is now in the 5th position.
These 2 cars here, the 7 of Michael Waltrip, the 17 of Kenseth, are 3rd and 4th. Todd Bodine is the leader. The Phillips 56 car.
Uh-oh, there's Jeff Gordon right in the middle of all this mess, and Jeff Gordon is battling for position. And he goes on the inside of Kevin Harvick. That's the battle for the 7th position. Look at these cars. 3, 4 wide as Hornaday. Right down on the bottom of the racetrack with 3 cars on his outside.
And Jimmy Spencer is there. That's the Zippo Chevrolet.
Jimmy Johnson back in 10th position as he sees Spencer in 9th in front of him.
And remember, Jimmy Spencer had to go to the back of the pack because of an unapproved engine change. You heard Ray tell you earlier they had water in the oil. He started 43rd, now being shown in 9th position. Mr. Excitement, Jimmy Spencer, you right along with Jimmy Johnson in 10th spot. Saw Jimmy Johnson a moment ago. They're losing their sponsor, Alltel, at the end of this year, and they are desperately searching for a sponsor for this Herzog Motorsports car. Tony Liberati, he said, we have such a great crew and a great opportunity and so much young talent. We need to get some help for next year.
On board with Jay Sauter. Right in the middle of this mix. Jay Sauter is currently back in the 13th position.
Yeah, the Morton saw it on board camera. He was about to go a lap down a little bit ago. The caution came out, and now a good run for Jay Sauter. Jim McKittrick is here from Quality Farm and Country. Wally Becky, the president of Morton Salt, seeing his first Busch Series action. And what a good one to watch here at Michigan Speedway. He makes a move on the inside. Again, Sauter being shown back in 13th position.
There we see Kyle Petty, the 45 car, the sprint car. He's currently in the, I'm sorry, that's the 21. Must be seeing things these days. The 33 car. Tony Raines is now a lap down. There's that 45 car.
Now look at Sauter and on the inside. All the way from 31st starting spot. Jay Sauter up to 13th.
And we see the 37 car of Kevin Grubb in a battle for second as Ward Burton, the older Burton, goes by the younger one, Jeff. It takes over the second spot. The 1 car, LaJoy, is a lap down. Currently back in the 18th position. 17 cars now in the lead lap.
There is Bodine, the leader. Burton in the car number 22. That's the Polaris-sponsored Pontiac out of the Bill Davis stable.
Check that speed on Ward Burton, 176.255. The only car in the 176-mile-per-hour range.
showing the muscle of that Brad Thrower engine out of Bill Davis Racing is Ward Burton.
Man, this is just looks like spaghetti back in the back as we see Mike Wallace and Jeff Gordon racing side by side. Jimmy Johnston and the 12 car side by side. Meanwhile, let's go to Bill Weber.
Benny, just want to update you on Jeff Green, who's having a fierce battle of his own today, just with his race car on that last stop, 4 tires and fuel. But they also put a half rubber in the right rear, put 2 turns in the right rear, 2.5 turns out of the left rear, and a half pound of air out of the left rear. In addition to all that, this is a brand new car that Jerry had talked about. There is so much air being sucked up under the hood that it is vibrating and loosening the hood pins. They're keeping a very close eye on that. Jeff Green has his hands full.
And right now, Jimmy Spencer doesn't have any problems keeping up with his car because it's about 100 miles per hour slower than the competition.
As he slows unexpectedly, this would not be a scheduled stop for the Zippo team for Jimmy Spencer. Richard Broom, the crew chief down there. Jimmy only had 1 start this year, that coming at Charlotte at Lowe's Motor Speedway, where he started 20th and finished 40th. And hoping to have a good run today, being shown in the top 10 all the way from the back of the pack. And now he is coasting down pit road, and you got to believe he might have a tire going down. Right, Ray?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, Jerry. Great run today, but it's going to be all for naught as the right rear on the Zippo car is going down. Jimmy Spencer said, let's not take a chance of putting her in the wall. So right side tire's going on, and now he's back out.
On a tough race for Jimmy Spencer. As he comes back down 55 miles an hour, the leaders that will flash by, there is Todd Bodine leading Ward Burton. As we approach the 90 lap mark of 125. 36-year-old Chemung, New York native Todd Bodine showing the way with Ward Burton, Jeff Burton, Kensington Waltrip in the top 5. At Michigan Speedway in Brooklyn, Michigan, the NapaOnline.com 250. And Todd Bodine, the top Arctic car, number 66, showing the way.
And look at Dick Trickle wriggle as he goes through the corner. That's up in the 4th corner. Jay Sauter right behind him in the Quality Farm and Country onboard camera. Trickle is a lap down, 48. And the 43 are battling for position. That would be for the 11th spot. Right now, Sauter is in 12th, as you see.
Mike McLaughlin was 4th when they made their pit stop, and the caution flag. He dropped back to 11th position, and now is continuing to hold on to that spot right behind Kyle Petty in the Sprint Chevrolet. Good run for Kyle as you watch. That's Morton Salt roof cam. That's the battle right in front of them.
Do you hear that engine? Was it running the rev limiter, or was he just easing off the accelerator back there? The 4th running through. And right at the end of the straightaway, the car just seems to quit running. And I guess that's one reason the 36-car field just blew by.
Earlier we saw Sauter going by Fedewa and others.
Let's listen again. See, it's missing. The engine starts to miss. And the farther down the straightaway it gets, the worse it becomes.
Well, I've got to believe that Jay Sauter is on the radio to Gene Need, the crew chief, saying, guys, we're having a great run. We've had good luck, but it may be going away. Well, we told you that the car 45 of Kyle Petty was having a good run. Kyle now being shown up in the 10th position.
He just has gone by the 48 car of Mike McLaughlin. Take that spot away. There's Kyle on the bottom of the racetrack.
All the way from 30th starting spot. Good run for the Sprint Chevrolet team for Kyle Petty, Bobby Hussey and company.
We talk about all these guys running the top of the racetrack. That's one problem you won't have to worry about Kyle Petty running the top of the racetrack. He always runs the bottom. Let's go down to Bill Weber.
And Benny, just want to update you on Mike McLaughlin. His car has gotten very loose on this set of tires. He's fallen back through the field a little bit. There was the possibility Mike would not be able to race here this weekend. His father is critically ill in a Geneva, New York hospital. There was some thoughts that Mike would stay with his dad, and has come here to race. We all know the story of how Jack Nicklaus performed at the PGA this weekend. Mike McLaughlin racing here with a huge distraction. His father in a hospital in New York.
But he is driving his heart out, trying to get that car toward the front. Talking about the car number 48, the Gould's Pump Chevrolet of Mike. His nickname for many, many years was Magic Shoes. Look at Kevin Harvick down on the bottom of the racetrack. The car number 2, the rookie Harvick.
Battle for 8th position. The white car, the Lysol car, Elton Sawyer was in the 8th position. He's now back to 9th as Harvick has taken that away. The 57 of Jason Keller is a lap down, back in 17th position.
We talked about the impressive freshman class in NASCAR's Busch Series. Kevin Harvick is a rookie, 4th in points. He has a pole and a win. Hornaday is a rookie. He's 5th in points with 2 wins. Also, Jay Sauter, by the way, is in that rookie class, and we told you what kind of great run he's having. All the top 3, Chevrolet, Pontiac, and Ford. Can't get much more parity than that here in the NASCAR Busch Series. Todd Bodine, the leader, followed by the brothers Burton. Ward, the older of the two, in the Polaris Pontiac, back in 2nd spot. Behind him is Jeff Burton, who is 5 years younger at age 33. NorthernLight.com Ford cars. 30 laps to go at Michigan. At the NASCAR Busch Series always draws a huge crowd under the bright sunny skies. Back in a moment. Back at Michigan Speedway in Brooklyn, Michigan, you haven't missed a thing. They're still nose to tail, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, Chevy, Pontiac, and Ford. But Benny, it's the brothers Burton getting a little bit racier every lap.
Yes, they're just getting closer and closer to Todd Bodine. And Jerry, it looks like these cars changed 4 tires. I wonder if that might not be playing to their advantage right now. Todd Bodine, the leader, trying to stay out in front and get that track position. Only changed 2 tires. Bill Weber, what are they thinking down there now?
Johnny, you only took 2. What do you think?
It wouldn't be the first race that's been won on 2 tires if it happens. It's happened here a lot. If you remember, Dale Jarrett never took any tires one time, one race here. This place is kind of known for that. But the biggest thing, keeping the car in clean air. You know, keeping some air on the nose seems to be the fastest this car runs. So I had to opt to kind of go that way.
Well, Benny, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's trying to keep the nose of the car in clean air. He must be getting a little bit loose when they get up behind him.
Well, he probably is, because he is getting air on the nose of the car, which really plants the front of the car. And that's what all these guys want anymore. Aerodynamics, they want that track position, because once they get behind another car and lose that air on the nose of the car, on the front of the car, they lose downforce, and then the car starts wanting to push. They call it an aero push, aerodynamic push.
25 laps to go here at Michigan International Speedway.
I believe right now that the 9 car of Jeff Burton is probably a little bit quicker than his brother Ward. But now, can he get a run on the outside? If he can get that outside position, he can probably get away from him, but he can't do it because Ward was able to move down and get that draft from Todd Bodine.
Those of you that may have just joined us and are wondering where Mark Martin is in the Winn-Dixie Ford, Martin had a problem in qualifying on Friday. Crashed in qualifying, did not start. As you watch the brothers Burton now battle side by side, and Jeff Burton will try to go by, but here comes Ward pedaling back on the outside.
And Ward, he really knew he had to stay on the outside. He drove that car in awfully hard because he knew that Jeff got on the outside, got in front of him. He'd never be able to get by him. And watch as these 2 cars battle for 2nd spot as Todd Bodine just drives away from them. Now, can Jeff Burton do it this time? Can he stay on the bottom and pull that slide job on Ward? No, he can't. Right in the middle, his car just starts sliding the front end, and Ward shoots by on the outside.
Well, back earlier this year at Las Vegas, we showed you this great brothers Burton battle as Ward and Jeff were battling for position in 2nd spot behind Mark Martin. And the day was over. Jeff Burton went to victory lane. But right now, it is Todd Bodine as Kim Burton watches her husband, Jeff, and Lynn Burton watches her husband, Todd, who leads it here at Michigan. Back in a moment.
Back with the wall. He flattened the right side of the car, made a pit stop. Here he comes off turn 4, and Mike Wallace goes up. Oh, and then makes some contact there, and Grubb gets that Michigan International Speedway stripe on the car. And Jeff still trying to take over that second spot. Is he going to pull the slide? He can't. Can he? No, he can't do it.
Can't quite pinch him off, older brother Ward. But here comes, as I look in their rearview mirrors, here comes a Band-Aid Chevy with Michael Waltrip. He is hustling toward this battle for second position. Michael right now in 4th spot, Betty, equaling his best run thus far this year in Busch Series competition.
And Jeff Burton finally gets into that second spot. Now, can he chase down the leader, Todd Bodine? Can he keep Michael Waltrip behind him? We've only got 17 laps to answer all these questions. A lot of questions, very few answers right now.
In this threesome here, the 9 car is a Ford, the 22 is a Pontiac, and the 7 is a Chevrolet. Again, Jeff Burton, Ward Burton, and Michael Waltrip. I'll tell you, as they cross the line, the speeds.
And Jeff Burton, the second place car, the fastest lap that time, even though he was passing cars.
Now that he's gotten around his brother Ward, you got to wonder if he's got enough time. He's got 15 laps to reel in Todd Bodine. Talking about Jeff Burton in the car number 9.
While we're on break, both the 98 car slowed, Elton Sawyer, and the 43 car of Jay Sauter made an unscheduled pit stop.
Dive down below the Hermie Sadler car, the car number 30, the Little Trees machine.
That time by, Jeff Burton gained 0.2 of a second on Todd Bodine. He can continue to do that for another 4 or 5 laps. He'll be close enough to get some draft off the 66 car. Then he should be able to close up. But catching and passing, 2 different things.
We are hearing that Todd Bodine's car is getting tight. Report from his pits. Bodine radioing the car is tight, meaning it will not turn coming off the corner. He's been able to use the middle groove or bottom groove most of the day, but if the car gets tight, that won't be the case.
Will not be the case. That time by, Jeff Burton once again gained another 1/4 of a second. Watch this, folks, in the last 5 laps. He goes from 2.9 seconds to 1.7. Talking about the 4th place car of Michael Waltrip. Let's go down to Bill Weber.
And Benny, as Jerry was saying, Todd has radioed in, the car is tightening up, and Donnie Richardson has told him on the radio that that pack behind him is faster if they stay in a line. They told Todd, hit your marks, it's still your race, but the guys behind you are definitely coming.
Well, we told you Todd Bodine has 10 career Busch Series wins, but he has not gone to victory lane since October of 1997. Remarkably, it has been almost 3 years for this very impressive and talented race driver since he has won in Busch competition.
That time by Jeff Burton. He's now just 1/2 second. You can see it. Just 3 or 4 car lengths behind Todd Bodine. The 33 car of Tony Raines a couple of laps down between the 2 cars. But Tony will get out of the way and let Jeff Burton get up there and try to pass the 66 car. As a matter of fact, Tony Raines is trying to pass the 66 right now.
Once again, at the line, he's not even among the top 3 in speed. We're talking about the leader, Todd Bodine. Now you know that Jeff Burton has inhaled him. He's down within about a car length and a half for the lead and possibly for the win here at Michigan Speedway.
And once again, to repeat, the 66 Todd Bodine last pit stop. Only changed, the crew decided to change 2 tires for that track position. His competitors, Jeff Burton primarily, they changed 4 tires. Right now, it seems like that extra rubber might be making a difference.
And Ray Dunlap reported that Jeff Burton also made a track bar adjustment and a significant air pressure change. And whatever Tommy Morgan did for the NorthernLight.com Ford of Burton, it has helped it immensely because he now has reeled in Todd Bodine. It'll be 10 to go next time by. Jeff Burton, a two-time winner this year in Busch competition with wins at Las Vegas and California. Here's Jimmy Johnson making a move by for Matt Kenseth.
Trying to take over that 5th spot. Well, if he could pull this off, talking about Johnson, that would be a feather in his cap, but not able to do it so far.
Talk about Jimmy Johnson and the Herzog Motorsports guys trying to attract a sponsor to run full-time in Busch Series. What an impressive young man he is at 24 years of age. His sponsor, Alltel, going away. Next year going to an effort by Ryan Newman in the Busch Series. And here are the brothers Burton once again. As the 22 car, Benny, has now reeled in Jeff Burton.
I think Jeff Burton picked up a tremendous push. He got up behind the 66 car off turn 2. I think he picked up a tremendous push. He had to back off the throttle. Losing that momentum allowed Ward Burton and Michael Walker both to close up on his back bumper.
Three-car battle here involving Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon in the Pepsi Chevrolet, Matt Kenseth in the car number 17. And as for 5th, 6th, and 7th spot, Jeff Gordon has the bottom line.
I'm not sure that's good. He tries to squeeze in between the two, can't quite make it.
Watch for Mike McLaughlin now to join this fray. The Gould's Pump Chevrolet walk up front. Here goes a move by Jeff Burton beneath Todd Bodine.
Oh, Todd does not want to give this up. On the outside, he's been up there, and here's Jeff Burton on the inside, and Michael Walker has moved into the 3rd spot as he goes by Ward Burton, and he gets a great run on both these cars off turn 2.
8 laps to go, 4 cars. You can put a blanket over them for the win here at Michigan.
And Michael Walker takes that Band-Aid car into 2nd spot. Look at Michael go high. Look at him on the outside. Todd Bodine, I don't know. Man, he just pulled up right in front of Michael Walker.
Michael Walker, 8 wins in Busch competition. Won last year at Charlotte in October at Lowe's Motor Speedway, and they are still single file, nose to tail. Here goes Ward Burton on the inside of brother Jeff. Todd Bodine, the 66. Michael Walker, the 7. Those are Chevrolets. The 9 of Jeff Burton is a Ford. The 22 is a Pontiac.
All right, look at Michael this time. If Todd Bodine goes above him, Michael Walker will just drive up on the outside. But here comes a 9 car. He's coming back on the outside.
These fans at Michigan are standing and cheering as they watch the final 7 laps of typical NASCAR Busch Series action.
Now, the 22 car of Ward Burton looks like he's going to the bottom of the racetrack where the air is a lot cleaner than the outside, and there's no other cars. Now, this time he has to go to the top because there's a slower car up there, Blaze Alexander, and he's been a nice spotter. There's a slow car on the bottom.
Well, this time by, Matt Abernathy will give him a handful, signifying 5 laps to go. NapaOnline.com 250. Will Todd Bodine get his first win in 3 years? How about Michael Walker? Will he get win number 9 in Busch competition? Could Jeff Burton get his 3rd win of the season? And how about Ward Burton? Could he go to victory lane for the first time this year in Busch competition? We'll know 5 laps from now.
To the 48 car, Mike McLaughlin, the Gould's Pumps car, has pumped the 17 car of Matt Kenseth. That would be a battle for the 7th position.
You heard Bill Weber's story, how Mike McLaughlin is driving with a lot of distractions, worried about his father back in the hospital. You look back from the Jimmy Johnson machine, the yellow freight Pamico on board.
You can see Jeff Gordon last time by was faster than Jimmy Johnson. as we see McLaughlin has gotten by Kenseth, taking over that position.
That is 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th you're looking at right there. Jimmy Johnson is 5th. Here's the battle for 2nd position, heating up again. A couple of Winston Cup veterans, Michael Waltrip in the 7, Jeff Burton in the 9. 4 laps to go, and Busch Series regular Todd Bodine, who will also run in the Pepsi 400 here on Sunday, driving the Kellogg's machine for Rick Hendrick Motorsports and subbing for Terry Labonte. But trying to be focused on what's happening today first, trying to get a Busch Series victory, his first in 3 years.
Guys not able to gain that much on Todd Bodine down in the 1st and 2nd corner. Michael Waltrip, the 7, the 2nd place car, appears to be faster than Todd Bodine up in 3 and 4. But not down in 1, 2. There's the top 3 cars. Jeff Burton, the 9 car, in 3rd spot. Right here, Michael Waltrip seems to get a great run, but not enough to be able to pull down and pass Todd Bodine.
Bodine all the way down on the apron of the racetrack. It dodges 1 car. That's a slowing car of Casey Atwood. 2 laps to go. 4 miles from the checkered flag. And Lynn Bodine watches and waits. There's the crew for the Band-Aid team. Tommy Morgan and company, the NorthernLight.com pits for Jeff Burton. Who will it be?
And McLaughlin goes by Jeff Gordon and moves into that 6th position. And 92 in front, but he's got a lap and a half to do it.
What a job by Mike Magic Shoes McLaughlin. He is driving his heart out today in 6th position. As back up front, Todd Bodine. He wants it in the worst way. This team has battled and scratched and clawed. They have not been to victory lane in so long. He started back in 16th position, but has been the dominant car throughout the afternoon. Final lap, Benny Parsons. Can he hold them off?
I don't know. Here we see Michael Waltrip, Todd Bodine. Is Michael going to try it on the inside? He hasn't been down there all day. And here comes Jeff Burton on the inside. This will certainly run. But here comes Michael. Look what a great run he's got. But Todd Bodine will try to block Michael Waltrip. Jeff Burton is trying. But no, it's Todd Bodine coming out for the victory.
Todd Bodine takes the win at Michigan Speedway. And watch this race to the line. It will be for position. And it looks like Mike McLaughlin, Johnson, and Gordon, 5th, 6th, and 7th. What a run for Mike McLaughlin. But congratulations have to go to Todd Bodine and the entire Top Office crew. Let's go down the range.
I'll tell you what, Lynn, I know you went to victory lane here in 92, but after 69 races without a win, this has to be the biggest of Todd's career.
You know, it's just amazing. He really drove the last 50 laps. He drove that race. He deserved to win that. He beat those Cup guys, and I mean, we really needed this. But you know, I think he's proven to people once again what he can do.
I didn't think 2 tires was going to do it. I had to have you awfully worried.
We were, but I think he drove the wheels off the car. I really do.
Congratulations. Lynn Bodine will get to celebrate with Todd in victory lane once again.
Well, and some long-awaited victory donuts by Todd Bodine, who waited almost 3 years to go back to victory lane. And what a performance he put on today. If there were some Winston Cup owners who are looking for someone, this has to be impressive for them. Todd Bodine will keep spinning around, and Lynn Bodine, his wife, celebrating, watching that final lap. Come on, Todd. Come on, Todd. Hang on, hang on. And indeed he did. We'll talk to him in just a moment. Back in Michigan Speedway, well, this one was a heart stopper. The NapaOnline.com 250 is history. And that young man right there from Chemung, New York, Todd Bodine, and this should be a celebration to remember. Let's go down to victory lane and Bill Weber.
Well, this is much more than just a team celebration. This is a family celebration. You watch Lynn throughout the race. Now Todd and his team and his family here in Victory Lane. And Todd, congratulations. It's been a long time since California. They'll talk about 2 tires, but they need to talk about the drive that you performed.
Well, I tell you, these guys built this car, brand new car, Hopkins car. Thing was awesome. We came up and tested. The crew just did a great job. I mean, the pit stops have been great. It's about time. I can't believe it's taken us this long to get back to Victory Lane. Phillips 66 has been such a great sponsor of this sport, great sponsor for us. To get him to Victory Lane finally, we're pretty happy about it. But I got to say one thing. I want to say hi to Mike McLaughlin's family up in New York. Tom, Mom, we're thinking about you.
You guys talked about the 2-tire stop on the radio. Did you ever question that decision?
At the time, I did. I knew our car was good enough that I could still run good with 2 tires. The thing that got bothering me was the end. We opened that gap up on them, and the car started getting tight. Here they come. They got in line, drafted up to us. I just went up to the high side and blocked their line. It was the only shot I had, and luckily it worked. I mean, our car actually probably was a little better up there than the bottom, so it kind of worked out for our benefit.
Congratulations. Welcome back to Victory Lane.
Thanks.
Todd Bodine, family, and crew win here at Michigan. Here's Ray Dunlap.
Well, thanks, Bill, with Michael Waltrip. You had a great run out there today, your best ever run in a Busch car here at Michigan. Is there anything you could have done to get that 66?
Yeah, I could have went ahead and left it in there when I had it. You know, with about 5 or 6 to go, I got him. I mean, I had him on the outside, and I knew that he hadn't won since 1997, and I figured he was going to take a right. And he did, and, I mean, it was my option. I could have left it in there and seen what happened, but I'm pretty sure we'd have wrecked.
What'd you learn today that's going to help you in the Winston Cup race?
I don't know, man. These cars handle so much differently. That car was, I knew it yesterday, it was perfect, and I'd be good. I actually told people, I said, I'm going out on a limb here, because I usually don't say this, but I think I might win this race tomorrow. We were that good after happy hour yesterday, and this morning with the Cup car, it just wasn't quite that good, but just proud for the Band-Aid brand team. You know, they worked so hard. We kind of rededicated our effort toward this deal. We've been bad, and told Ronnie, said, we got to work on it, we got to test. We come here and test, we went to Bristol and tested, and that went great. So look for us to be strong next Friday night under the lights, too.
Okay, good today. Michael Waltrip takes 2 tires, and he is right up there with Todd Bodine. Now Bill Weber, I think, is caught up with Mike McLaughlin.
Well, you had a great ride. Your teammate won, and I know you were thinking about your dad all day as well.
Well, that's for sure. You know, this one was for Dad. Love him. Can't wait to get home, but we had a good car. You guys did a good job. We had a competitive car. And a brand new race car, never tested it to come here, qualify like we did, run as good as we did. We made an adjustment. A little loose at the end, took a while to get it going, but then once we got going, we're in pretty good shape. Just happy for Gould's Pumps, Mitel, Longview RV, everybody that supports this deal.
You were the first guy to shake hands with Todd in Victory Lane.
Well, Todd and I go back a long way, and he's deserved to win for a while now. He's been real competitive for the past 2 years, and he's well overdue.
Our thoughts and prayers to your family.
Thank you very much.
Great run from Mike McLaughlin here today.
Well, an emotional Mike McLaughlin now. He can focus on what is important in his life, and it's not what happened on the racetrack today. It's what will happen back with his family at home in New York. But the celebration continues for Todd Bodine. Todd and his wife Lynn and family down in Victory Lane. It had been 3 years. You heard Michael Waltrip say a race driver knows how much another race driver wants a victory, and he knew that it had been almost 3 years since Todd Bodine had visited Victory Lane. Did he want it? Well, he was celebrating and continued to celebrate. We'll come back with more from Michigan in just a moment. Stay with us. Now, the NapaOnline.com 250 is history, and what a run by Todd Bodine. But it wasn't easy. There were a lot of guys chasing him just a few car lengths back. What about the Burton brothers? Let's go down and hear from them. Ray?
Well, Jerry, we want to talk to Jeff about chassis setups, because I know when you won here in 1998, it was one kind of car, and it's a whole different thing now, right?
Yes, it is. Things that worked then don't work now, that's for sure. The Busch guys have really done a good job of coming up with some really innovative setups that have worked well for them, and we're a little bit behind on that, so we're trying to apply some of that to our Cup car and to our Busch car, and it wasn't quite where we needed to be today, but we're trying to learn.
Okay, he had a great battle with his brother Ward, and I believe Bill Weber's caught up with him.
And we're back here in the Cup Garage with Ward. Obviously, a great race for you and some challenging moments down the stretch.
Yeah, we had some fun. Enjoyed racing Todd, because Todd and I were we started the same time in the sportsman division, and Had fun with Jeff. And exceptionally happy for Polaris, because Polaris is a great sponsor on that Winston Cup car, and they sponsor that Busch effort, and we struggled a little bit, so we gave them a good run today.
What was that like, those final laps, Ward?
It was like this. I had too much steering angle in it. I really tight. Tommy just told me to wear on the inside the right front out, so we had to camber off a little bit, but we'll take it. We'll learn, and next Busch race try to be a little better.
Well, at one point, you and your brother door to door across at the start-finish line.
Yeah, we need to do some more of that. That's
Right.
fun.
Okay, good race.
All right, thank you, buddy.
Bob, Jerry, Benny, who's ever up there?
Okay,
I'm here, Bill.
Bill and Ray, as the celebration continues in victory lane for Todd Bodine. Now, a moment ago, Michael Waltrip made a comment that he had a run on Todd Bodine with like 4 or 5 laps to go.
Yes, he did. It was off turn 4, and here's exactly what Michael Waltrip was talking about. Here he is, a 7 car on the outside. Todd Bodine is in the middle of the racetrack, and Michael gets a run. He has momentum going. He's coming off the corner, and Todd Bodine knows he's up there. And Michael said, I had a choice. I could have gone on, but we probably would have wrecked, because Todd Bodine, not having won since 1997, he was going to keep coming and force the issue. And Michael, I think, wisely backed off a little bit.
Let's go back down to the garage area where Ray is standing by with Jeff Gordon.
Well, Jeff, you didn't get the win today, but you got a lot of practice going past cars, right?
Yeah, came a long ways. I tell you what, the guys on this Pepsi Frito team, they did a great job. You know, we made a lot of changes. Patrick Donahue, those guys, they did a great job because he made a lot of changes. We weren't sure what it was going to do, and I drove up to, you know, into the top 10. Once we got up there, a little different story. You know, it's pretty hard to get the car freed up enough, but we were having a lot of fun. You know, I really enjoyed it. That last restart was pretty exciting. Those Busch guys, I tell you what, man, they're wild, but you learn a lot over there and have a lot of fun.
Okay, Jeff Gordon getting ready to see what he can do with his Winston Cup car in happy hour.
All right, thank you, Ray. Our unofficial results in the NapaOnline.com 250 shows that 13 drivers finished on the lead lap. There is Todd Bodine taking the win. Joe Nemechek, the last driver, finishing on the lead lap in 13th position.
Jeff Green comes back to be the first car a lap down. Mike Walsh will finish in 21st position. Hank Parker Jr., 25th. Ron Hornaday will finish 30th today, unlike Hornaday this year.
And the 98 car of Elton Sawyer had a problem late. After a good run, he will finish back in 31st position. Our points with 9 events remaining on the season. Well, the second worst finish of the year for Jeff Green does not hurt him that much, but Todd Bodine gains some ground. He's now in second spot in the points, moving from 3rd to 2nd. There you take a look at the top 5 and the top 10 in the NASCAR Busch Series point standings. For Benny Parsons, Bill Weber, and Ray Dunlap, I'm Jerry Punch. Once again, congratulating Todd Bodine on his win today in the NapaOnline.com 250. Don't forget, coming up next, Pro Beach Hockey. And tomorrow, our live coverage from right here at Michigan. It's been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.